Guardians of Fehal. The DM absolutely fails at doing voices.
Good day. What can I get for y'all?
Is she like a southern Irish woman?
Shut up!
Hans Frans wants to drink, but his twin won't let him.
There is one that you'll see things if you drink it.
Perfect. No, brother. We have stuff to do today.
You have to open up your mind to be able to find things unseen.
But you have to be able to see things that are also real.
But don't worry. They all mix
You say that
together.
every time, brother.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, every time it's not.
I have you.
Okay.
Okay, so green fare for you.
Nora learns what a pomegranate looks like.
What's a pomegranate?
When you open up the fruit, it looks like the insides of a body.
Nora is absolutely horrified.
It's a great way to get someone to eat
Delicious.
something.
The players learn more about the intricate fashion in the city of Feyen.
They are the gods of marriage, fertility, sex, pleasure, desire, and all
Yeah,
that.
she quickly makes her way away
There's
from
a lot
that
of
one.
salespeople in front of this one who are trying to sell certain things.
Hmm.
But you're
certain
kind of...
things.
Dick hats.
And then headed to the temple district to find some answers for Nora about what happens after you die.
Do you have any insight in how to possibly speak with those who have passed on?
There are certain restrictions of how soon and...
What kind of restrictions?
Well, we would have to have the body of the person here, and it would have had to be a recent death for at least most communications. Otherwise, reaching out to souls that have passed beyond the veil is very difficult. Well, is there anything else with the temple stuff you guys wanted to do? As she shows
Nothing
you
else
out?
that Nora wants.
Okay.
Hans and Franz keeps his distance. He looks
From Triss? Or from...
no from them.
Okay.
Like stays close, but like keeps his distance, and like he looks very.
Like he really wanted to get into a fight, and then they just didn't give him any gasoline, so
No,
he's like
no, not at
all
all.
very pensive.
Do you have high wisdom? You got high wisdom. So you probably noticed. Yeah, he looks very very pensive, kind of frustrated, a little angry.
Nora wants to talk to Hans and Frans.
Okay.
On the way back.
All right. Do I cut this?
Yeah.
He would just kind of like, not right now, Nora. Maybe like to.
Okay.
All right.
Well, what was the question that Nora like?
Yeah. When
She
you
would
walking
just
out.
ask if he's okay.
You look constipated. No.
She just say,
You look
That
like you
was-
want to smite somebody.
that was a lot more intense than I was thinking it would be. Hans and Franz, are you okay? You look a little unnerved.
I'm okay for now. I need to talk to my brother,
Okay.
and then I will talk to you.
Okay.
I have to get his approval first.
Holy war!
Well,
Like he's giving off like that. He wants to discuss something with his brother, and then he will bring it to you. Like,
oh,
Like he's not sure.
yeah, he's not
Okay.
sure about something.
well, when you're done talking to your brother, I would like to talk to you both about kind of the same thing, but with your god. And
Of
your
course.
goddesses. That would be.
I'm playing the fields, you guys. I don't really want to make up my mind
I don't know
about
what
a
team
god.
I want to play for.
She doesn't know any
I
of
know.
these, so she's just like learning all she can.
The Red Sox gave me a shout out, but I'm kind of holding out for the Dodgers.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now
So I
for
guess
that.
we're gonna cut to our two shopping friends over here. Okay.
Have I been
Um,
to where we're going? Have I been to this place?
Yeah, you've
before?
been to the
Well,
Central
so Hans
Market.
and Franz
before.
is kind of going to be relying on Una to know,
Where to go?
like,
Are we going to the same magic shop,
Where can I
the
go
Unicorn's
to get
Fortunes? Or
No, that's in the Fey District.
okay, so we're staying out there.
You're
Which-
going to a different part of. You're going to the general market because you're buying gems. You said.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just looking
cute
for like
pearl.
a jeweler or someone
Uh-huh.
who I can purchase a
Are we
pearl
going to like
from.
4 then? The Billow? No, the Billow's government.
You're kind of like the whole central area where I don't have anything on the map is shopping. Like that's filled with shops and like random
So
little
central
side
district?
Yeah, central district.
Central.
You guys walk for a little bit, and you can kind of remember going on when you first started in the guild hall. You helped drop something off, since normally the Feyan guild hall will get shipments in and then deliver them into town. There was a time you made a shipment to a jeweler, so you were like, I think I remember coming over this way. You didn't go in and meet the shopkeeper, but you kind of remember it was in this
area
part of the town. So you go a little bit closer towards
as we get closer, Una's gonna cast disguise self on herself. So, because like right now she's like in her full gear.
Yeah.
So she's gonna make herself look nicer, maybe hair it down a little, and a nicer kind of mid-level dress. So that way she looks a little nicer, like.
Okay, so she looks the same.
Fancier.
She just looks like she's
like how she goes to like the tavern in the Elven district.
Oh, and you mean by the university?
Yeah,
when she
by
goes
the
to
university.
The
When she goes there, that's kind of how she's looking, but she wants to keep her gear on. So
she's
just
cute and on fly.
So when Una does that, Hans and Frans is going to kind of stop.
Una, what was that prayer just now?
It's a special spell I learned.
But what did you do to your clothes? Your
well,
armor's gone.
It's still there. It doesn't look like it is. Because sometimes it's nice to like look nice, that way they treat you a little better.
Yeah, you gotta polish it.
Sometimes it's nice to wear a dress.
Oil it up a little bit, you know.
Sometimes it's nice to just wear a dress though, because that's what they expect of ladies.
I agree.
And I kind of like push the creases out of my kilt.
Yeah.
Good job.
I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. So this just helps me blend in a little better and still be protected.
Una, you've been to town quite a bit, and Hans and Frans, you saw this a little bit the other day when you came in and were going towards the rabbit hole. People here are dressed pretty nice in a lot of ways. There are people wearing a lot of different styles. There's some clothing where it's made of almost like fine, what you think of furs and velvets and satin material. And then there's other fabric that is more of a thin chiffon-like type material or organza. And it's dyed these colors that shift in the light. There's elaborate hairstyles. And even like there's quite a difference in of classes, you can tell. Like people who are wealthy are wearing tons of gold and silver, and their hair looks super fancy, and they smell incredibly nice. People who are more middle of the road are still dressed professionally and nice, but there's just not quite the like showmanship and the ornate detail of their outfits. But
does Hans and Frans get any like weird looks as him and Una are walking through the streets?
Una doesn't really get that many looks. You get a couple strange looks because you're like in armor, but you do see there are some people who look like they could be adventurers walking in, because this is the central market. So
sure.
You guys walk a little bit of a ways down up towards District 4, and that is where a lot of mercantile stuff is, and you make the rounds of the central market. And
I thought District 5 was mercantile.
District 5 is textile. District 4 is...
Yeah, you're in the center part where like a lot of those standing shops are, but Una directs you to a place. It's a little shop in District 4. It is called...
Little shopper.
It's called the Darling Garnet.
Little shop. Darling Garnet. That doesn't work.
So District 4 has mercantile.
Yes.
You should shop of Dial.
Yeah, it's called the Billows District. It's called the Darling Garnet. Okay. And you were like, oh, yep, this is the shop. I've been here before.
Okay, I would walk in and tell Hans to follow.
So who's there? Who's the special person at this shop?
I don't know.
Megan.
I've never been in this shop, which is why I'm doing this to my guy. That's why I'm using disguise self, because he hasn't seen me before, and this is just one way to.
But you're not changing your face.
Yep. So my face is gonna stay the same. my hair isn't gonna be in like the mohawk braid that it traditionally is in, so that is just gonna be like braid at the top and then flowy-ish on the bottom.
You look more like a noble.
Yes. Yep. So very well.
Or at least
higher-
a merchant,
Yeah.
like a merchant's wife, daughter.
not like high, but like mid-high.
Yeah,
So,
she looks like low-level
Higher
gentry.
middle class.
Yes.
Yes.
So I look like
She looks like she's part of the
It
gentry.
looks like I can afford to shop at a jeweler,
Mhm.
and like I understand what's going on because like she doesn't want to get swindled.
Sure.
So and
What
she.
are you doing to the cat?
Just petting him.
From jumping up here.
It's just funny.
So yeah, that's why she disguised herself to look the way she did, was to give a good impression and not come in as, huh, I'm in my full garb.
Sure.
So yeah, and that way you kind of look like a bodyguard too for me as well.
Well, so Hans and Franz will walk in, presumably in front of Una.
Una would probably go first.
Okay,
She's very sociable that way.
gotcha. Well, if Una goes first, what do you do first?
You walk in.
What do I see when I
You
first walk in?
see, there is a lot of different types of gems, and they're all behind what looks to be really thick glass. And
Are there any
you
other
don't really
people?
see a shopkeeper at first.
Are there any other people in there? Or is
No,
it just us?
it's just us just you guys right now.
Hello? Is anyone here?
Oh yes. There's a sweet small voice that comes from behind the counter, and then you see a little side door open, and a little goblin woman walks out and says, "Oh yes, what can I do for you?"
Above table, what goblin? Is it traditional goblin? Are they more accepted in this society?
In this society, goblins are from part of the Fey realm.
Okay.
There are nomadic goblin tribes that will cause trouble sometimes, but by and large, they're no more considered troublemakers than any other race. They're about on the same level as elves.
Just
They're
wanna make
considered one of
sure.
the magical races that came over with the Fey.
Okay.
Known for
would-
craftsmanship a lot.
Would Hans and Franz have encountered them in the Iron Valley? Or
Nope.
No.
Would Una have seen goblins running around since she's been here for a
You
little bit?
would have caught, you've seen them in the Fey district especially, so.
Hans and Franz wouldn't necessarily, he wouldn't draw a weapon or anything like that. He would just kind of stand sideways on.
In my
to
world,
this
the
person.
goblins look more like the house elves from Harry Potter.
Sure, no, he'd still stand sideways on and just kind of keep a side eye on.
She
the
kind
person.
of looks at you. Oh, what can I get for you, miss?
My name is Una. What's your name?
My name is Grensilly.
Grensilly?
Grensilly.
Gren or Ven?
Gren.
Gren.
Grensilly.
We are Hans and Franz.
Nice to meet you. How can I help you? What are you looking for?
Well, my friend here was looking for, I think you said a pearl?
Yeah, Hans and Franz will take a pre-counted bag of 100 gold pieces, 10 platinum, and put them on the counter.
I require a pearl of sufficient value.
Oh, and she'll open the bag and kind of count how much money it is. I have a few that would possibly suit this purpose. Please come over and look. And she kind of motions and then goes behind the counter, and there's a small little corner, and there's a lot of different pearls in there, and they're all different sizes, and there's about 6 that are all different colors that she pulls up, and are like, any one of these would be of the value. It's a matter of what color one you want, or specific maybe clarity of it you're looking for. But all of these would fall into the
So
spectrum.
does she put them up on the counter?
Yes, for you to look at.
So Hans and Franz will hover his hand over and just kind of start praying to Angid and recite part of the prayer for identify to see if any of the pearls react to it, or if none of the pearls react to it.
There's one of them that has a little. It's kind of a faint orange tint to it, and it has the tiniest glimmer of a magic feel to it. It's it isn't actually magical, but maybe it came from a magical place.
So does it react positively?
Yeah, just it has
hover over and say the prayer.
Mhm.
Like,
May I pick this up?
Oh yes, of course you can examine it. Would you like a glass eye to see it better under?
No.
The only guy I knew with a glass eye couldn't see out of it at all. It's very impressive.
So Hans and Frans will pick it up, and he'll hold it in his hand and reach into his pocket and grab the chalk,
Okay.
and he'll start saying the prayer of identify. Not taking the chalk out of his pocket, but he'll.
But you're casting it on the chalk.
Yeah, and he'll just under his just say the prayer very quickly, not like he is actually expending a spell slot, an actual spell slot, not ritually casting it.
On the chalk, you get conjuration magic.
Well, what does the chalk do?
Identifies.
If the prayer works, then
I have that in here. I thought.
You probably
tells
don't
you
have it.
everything
You don't.
about
Do you
it.
have it
I
yet?
don't know it, but I have it in my list. You choose one object to touch, thoroughly casting a spell. If it is a magical item or has some other magical imbued item, you learn the properties and how to use it.
You think it's part of a ritual or part of a spell to conjure something that isn't native to this plane. It's missing. It needs more than just chalk, but part of it is.
So the chalk's not necessarily magical; it's a component.
No, the chalk is magical. It's part of it, but you feel like it probably would take more than just the chalk.
Well, what does the chalk do?
It helps draw the magical lines into
like
the weave of the universe to help summon something to this plane that is not from this plane.
It's like a focus for conjuration, is what I'm assuming.
Yes.
So like you need like an item and the chalk in order to do it.
So
is what I'm assuming.
Because the chalk itself is magical still.
Yes.
Right. Well, being that it's just a focus.
Well, it's magical chalk.
But
like your
parts
magic
of it,
ink to make a spell, like a spell scroll.
Like you need,
But you need that magical chalk.
Yeah.
To create
it's
the spell
magically
circle.
imbued is what I
so,
think is
yes.
what she's
So
understanding.
basically, the chalk acts as like drawing the marks on the ground as part of it. But to actually summon something from another place, you need some.
It's magically imbued. It's not a magical item.
Oh, it's not a magical item.
It's magically imbued.
Okay, that's what I
Yes, it's
thought
magically
you said
imbued.
it was a magical item.
It's magical. I'm not 100% into the technicalities of the differences between the two.
Okay.
Because I have better things to do with my life. I don't play
As
wizards.
a DM,
I don't play wizards.
you need to know the difference. Well, you're gonna. Okay, well.
It's my game. I do whatever the fuck I want.
What Hans just did, or like
It
be
looked like-
watching Hans because it looks like
Hans and Frans holds the pearl in his hand like this, like he's like.
But you
like
did something.
He's finishing a curl, and his fist is in front of his forehead, and the pearl is clenched in his fist. And there's like a slight shine when the prayer is said. It's almost like beams of light come through his fingers for a brief second.
But it doesn't come out of that hand because you're casting it on the chalk.
Well,
no, but the pearl, the
pearl gives off
components
power.
react.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right, then you see him look like he was doing something to get a react, like doing
and so
something.
I'll open my hand with the pearl there, and I'll say, "I'll take it," and he'll put it back in whatever display thing it was in.
Would you like it wrapped?
I would just like it in a box.
All right. She'll go and get a box for it, and she'll take the platinum pieces and says, "Is there anything else for you?"
I guess.
Wait, how much did that cost?
100. 10 platinum.
He's gotta
100
make
gold.
it.
Okay.
You're gonna make a pearl of power from it.
No, it's for
it's a
identify
spell
component.
component for identify.
Yeah.
It's 100 gold.
It is a
It's
100
not consumed.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
it's
why
just
Una's like, Una's gonna need one, but she technically doesn't know that she needs one. So that's why I'm like trying to is this a pathway where should she get this now and ask Hans and Frans, or is it something that she's just gonna have to do later?
You noticed he cast something, so you can ask him afterwards. But you buy it with no further problem. She puts it in a nice little box, It's like, well, thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you again sometime for other gem needs.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Grand Siri.
Thank you.
If you don't mind my asking,
Here we come.
I am not from around here,
Mm-hmm.
and I am not sure what you are.
Oh, I'm a goblin.
Una just looks at him like, why would you just ask
Oh my
that?
God, Karen, you can't just ask people why
Pretty
they're
much,
white.
like, more like she's still like bubbly, but she like kind of like her eyes just get that like weird sharp focus. Is like, did you really just ask that?
Where are you from, Grand Siri? I've never met a goblin before.
I was born in this city, but my parents moved from the Fey realm, from the Goblin Kingdom, about 60 years ago.
Oh, so you are from another world, or your parents are?
Yes. All goblins are from the Fey realm originally.
Oh, that's interesting. Have you ever met a fairy?
Yes, actually. They live in the Fey Steppes. Part of town. You've been there. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
Colorful place.
They,
Very.
a lot of them like to live in the Cater Forest, though, or they just, roam around the Fey realm.
I guess we leave
Well,
and
it was very nice to meet you, Grand Siri. Thank you for answering my questions and for selling me this wonderful pearl. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
May Angid bless you this day.
And he leaves.
Is Ankita
And
a friend of his?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, it was a nice gesture. Come back anytime.
I might just have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Una would leave and then catch up to Hans and Frans, and then once we got
Catch up and smack him upside the back then. No! Don't ask shit like that.
no, Una would be like, have you never seen a goblin before?
I am from the Fae are mostly mischievous. They're mostly tricksters, and I mean, when we think of Fae, we think of fairies. The wandering lights in the forest that generally bring about giants down from the mountain. They are not something that we interact with.
Interesting. I guess I've never heard about fairies bringing giants.
Well, I mean, where we are from, the giants live in the hills and the mountains and the forest, and we generally have to fight them for territory and resources, and they are not very smart, so they chase the lights like a cat. And the fairies lead them, one or two, and we have to fight them off.
I guess I'm not very familiar with giants. Are they like cyclopses by chance?
No, they're bicyclops.
It's Biclops.
It swings both ways.
Interesting. I guess something I should maybe try to find someday.
I mean, my brother and I could tell you very much about the giants. We personally never fought them, but our parents did a lot. The town guard, the Bendaya, we fought them all the time.
Interesting. I guess my first time meeting goblins was here, but I've been here for a while, so I guess I'm used to them. And it's just strange that you guys didn't know.
No. When we think of Fae, we think of fairies. Like, this is the first time that we've encountered things that are, well, Fae and not, little tiny bright lights or mischievous things with wings. Like a goblin, those were stories that we've heard as the villages that we've traveled, as the things that, come and steal things in the night.
I mean, those goblins do exist too. I've come across those, but these ones here are really nice. They kind of look a little different. These ones look more like friendly, and those ones more look like vicious, like little shark teeth and kind of green and
I mean,
paly.
that's kind of how we pictured them.
Yeah. That's there are some of those too.
And Hans and Frans kind of looks around and just kind of scans the area.
Was there anything that you were looking for here?
was just curious why you were looking for a gem. So why do you need that pearl?
Well, so there's a prayer from my tribe that we would often find some of our magic users would find these pearls in the river.
Because as far as I know, this is the only way that
No, you would have had to trade stuff from the ocean.
You'd have to trade from like my people, the coastal people.
Well, there's a different, there's a Western Ocean that they could have traded with the towns
coastal.
from. Yeah.
Or right.
You would have had to buy them.
If we follow the river, we encounter
The sea.
like it's the Iron Valley.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because
And-
you're part of the Iron Valley that you guys have maintained is not coastal locked.
No, absolutely not. Because we're up in the hills where the
mountains.
the mine is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like diamond dust that collects inside of like a rock hole, and they think it's an oyster. Maybe
I mean, if I'm just narratively trying to solve
I'm sorry,
the
I'm
issue.
ruining it. I'm just saying, you would have had to trade
but-
for oysters.
So
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Well,
continue.
so I'll retcon it.
One of the prayers that
dick
my goddess
nugget.
Enki gives to me requires this pearl. So that is why I've come seeking it today, because I have not had one. In the years that my brother and I have traveled, it has been something I've been missing.
I noticed that there was a flash of light. Did you cast that prayer then in that shop?
Why'd you have to say it like that?
No.
With my magic, it's not more of a prayer. It's just
Yes.
it's something that I do, and with
Yes,
you, it's a prayer.
I prayed for knowledge on this chalk that I found in the sewer, or the aqueduct, while I was swimming. The prayer told me that this chalk is part of a summoning, used to bring something from another world to ours. Possibly something from the Fey realm, or maybe even something else.
Do you think it summoned those mud and water creatures?
I mean, I don't see why not. It would make sense. I don't recognize those things. They're not from this world. They're made of mud, made of water. It's not something from around here. As far as I know, everything from our world is flesh and blood and bone and muscle, not earth and water.
I mean, I guess we've fought back in my tribe, we fought some creatures that were from the water and made of water, so I guess it's just interesting that they're so close in land here.
You have fought against creatures made of water?
She's flipping through pages, people. Search for the information.
Yes! Just small things, not big things. Some of our elders, they fought some big, what they call water elementals. These beings that grow and thrive in the water, and they protect and can sometimes destroy if not
What do they
taken care
protect?
of. The water, the elements, making sure that, if anyone comes too close or tries to hurt the ocean or the water, they can react.
Cue music from Moana. Okay.
That is very curious. Do these water elementals, are they just part of the aquatic life that you are aware of?
I mean, they're not common, but there's definitely stories in our village about these water creatures. Never heard about mud creatures, and they don't really look like bats like you guys described
Yeah,
them.
they had a long nose, and wings, and claws. And then when I cut one of them, they exploded.
Yeah.
Mud everywhere. No body, no bone, no muscle, no blood. Just mud.
It sounds like an elemental, but they don't look like birds. It's like, so it's like, it looks like water, but for some reason you can kind of see this weird outline. And when they're out of the water and on land, they look like a giant thing of water. Sometimes swirly and whirly, but I've never heard of a mud one before. And they don't look like a bird. So,
Also, pause.
Yes.
The water method that
Yes. They
did
look
it
like-
look just like a mud method, except maybe
I've
water,
always-
so like fluttering and flying, or was it like along the ground and like kind of a small
Like a glue.
swirly?
I saw them almost like, think of like a water or a mud imp. Like they have a
Okay.
tiny little form, or like a fairy, where they have a
So
little
they
bit
do
of an,
stand on
they
the
have
ground.
silhouette. The elementals that you're more used to fighting do look kind of like a wave that all of a sudden kind of grew legs and arms briefly, and it shifts back and forth.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so going back to the methods, are the methods based on the ground, like legs and arms and face?
Yes.
Not like in the
Not a
monster
wave.
manual where all of the methods have wings and actually fly.
No, these ones didn't have wings.
Okay, so we'll
Retcon. But still,
retcon that.
still
You
they
know,
don't
it
look
was-
like
it
that
was-
pointy impy
Right,
thing.
it was,
Yeah.
you know,
Legs and arms and face and a long nose, like a beak, but not really. And
It
one
talks.
of them was, 4 of them were mud, and 2 of them were water. They were small, smaller than
I
Nora.
mean- It might have been like a baby water elemental, but that doesn't sound like what they look like. I guess I would have to see what it was in order to tell you yes or no. But like I said, I think I've only seen a couple of small ones before, like when we went out as a group for training, but I don't think I've ever seen one that looked like that before.
Well, if this chalk is any clue, then they're probably calling these water creatures, these mud elementals, from other worlds, other places. So if the Venerables are doing this, then we'll probably see them again.
I mean,
I-
it sounds like they want these. They're afraid that there's a magic user in that Thieves Guild.
Yeah, that's what Hughes was saying, but it just seems to make sense to me. I mean, any guild
I do
should
have.
probably have a magic user, right? I mean, there's me and my brother and Nora. We all use magic.
So, well, last night I did witness a drop at a bar that I went to, and
Like a drop of water.
like a trade off of goods.
Oh, a delivery.
Yeah, but it was like really shady how they did it, and I wonder if that might have been part of it. I did kind of follow him to this really gross bar, but I dropped some money off just to kind of keep my ear out, but I wonder if that might be a way to find out if someone's been summoning things.
Okay. I mean, people exchange goods and information all the
Honeys.
time. Why does that, matter?
It was just strange how they did it, and this is the second time that they met, so it was just weird.
So
It
you
seemed-
watched 2 people meet more than once?
Yeah.
Are you a creeper or something?
No, I'm just observant. It's good to see what's around you.
Did they meet in the same place?
Yes, different times. Same place, and they exchanged little bags. One, I'm pretty sure was money, and the other one I'm not really sure. So I followed the one that I wasn't really sure about to this really creepy place, and then when I went in it, I felt like he was going further, but I couldn't really see it, and I didn't want to go, tranching around back there,
Like
so...
what kind of creepy place? Like a warehouse?
No, it was a bar called the Boar's Head. It's over in the Shades.
Bringing us back to the shades again, okay?
Just a second, I gotta flip pages for notes. So Megan, could you just give me that one more
Boar's
time?
Head
All right, Boar's Head.
in the Shades.
Well, so that was where you followed him to. Where was the place that they did the meeting first?
The novice.
The Novice.
So the novice tavern or bar?
It's a
It's like a atomic coffee style bar.
Well, so it's if it's a bar, it doesn't have any rooms.
It's
or
a
anything.
tavern.
It's a bar. It's a
Okay.
bar.
It's a gathering place.
Yeah, it's a gathering place for students of the magic college, like magic school. Like they kind of hang out there, as well as modern magic
So
users.
what district is that in?
That is in.
No, it's the shape.
It's in 9.
District 9.
It's called
Yeah.
it's called
Yes.
That's where Katniss Everdeen is
The
from.
petals. District 9. Novice near the academy.
The petals, like flower petals.
Yes.
Yes.
It's in the Fey district. Or it is.
Well,
the
not
Fey
quite.
district.
It's
Well,
in the. It's kind of like an. It's
a
next to the
school
noble district.
Okay, so the novice bar.
That's
You-
where the zoo is.
That's
you
what the zoo is.
observed a exchange.
Yep. And then tracked one of them to the hogshead.
Money and
Unknown object.
unknown goods. Followed the unknown goods
To the boar's head.
to the boards.
But it felt so when I went into the boar's head. I could feel him.
I'm sorry. Hold on. What district is the boar's head in?
The shades.
The shades.
The shady part of town, the shades.
Shady shades.
Okay. All right. Continue, please.
And it felt like, so when I went into the bar, it seemed a lot less. Like, I have this fun thing that I can track people with, and I felt him keep going after he went into the bar, but when I went into the bar, there wasn't a way to keep going. And then there were some patrons there that were not really talking, but talking. And the barkeeper was really nice, but I had to put on a little bit of a show to make sure I didn't get into some trouble.
Just the way you phrase that is hilarious to me. Like you did a song and dance.
Oh no, I know she didn't do a song and dance.
She didn't fuck the bartender.
That's not what I'm saying.
I can be tough if I need to be tough.
Cat's in attack mode.
He's so mad we kicked him off this island so many times.
So Una,
They just look so
the
similar.
bar seemed less like the walls weren't big enough to fit. Like the inside was smaller than the outside.
No, it was more of a feeling I got. So, I have this thing that I can put on people, and I can kind of feel them wherever they go. And it's like a way of tracking. So, like... It's a way for me to kind of keep an eye.
Do you use the Quaalude prayer?
That's a Quaalude prayer.
Prayer of Ludes.
No, I'm sorry.
That's
Keep
okay.
going.
It just allows me to kind of keep track of people if I don't want to be too close to them as they walk away from me. It's a way for me to kind of gather information or
Like,
find things.
Well, you're a tracker. It's like when you're hunting.
Yeah, like if I lost track of a deer, I could put this spell on the deer, and then no matter where the deer went, I could feel where it would go.
Some sort of mark of a hunter.
That's metagaming.
Don't break the meta.
Oh,
You know what a spell
No,
is.
yeah.
Sam and
Yeah, I
Darius,
know
you're not
exactly
in
what
this
you're talking
game.
about. We have some hunters in my tribe that they're the best in the tribe, and there's a prayer that they use from Forian that gives them the ability to follow someone even when they can't see them or find the tracks
Yeah,
or find their blood. They just I know
they have
exactly
a
what
feeling.
you're
Yeah,
talking about.
so I had that mark on the guy I was hunting, and it just felt like he kept going through the bar, but when I went into the bar, I couldn't see. Well, so before I went into the bar, I had to drop it because I didn't want to go in looking like this. So I had to make myself look a little tougher before I went in. So I had to drop that. But when I waited and felt him go through, I assumed that there was a lot more space that I could follow him through. And when I actually went into there, it was like where he went to didn't exist when I was on the inside.
Yeah, it was too small.
Yeah, there should have been something more behind.
Okay.
But I didn't want to go snooping because I was alone, and that would have been dumb. So
So this boar's head, do you think that we could maybe go to it? Do you think that it might have a connection to the Venerables?
I mean, I plan on going back in a day or two, but I guess we could go back earlier than that.
Well, I mean, me and my brother intend to, do away with the Venerables to make the Shades a better place. So if there's something, some clue, some hint, I'm sure that we would follow it. If you think the boar's head is a hiding place for these Venerables, then
I mean, we could definitely try.
me and my brother will turn the place upside down,
Well, maybe,
Burn it to the ground. No, he doesn't say
maybe
that.
not that.
He doesn't quite go so crazy. But he does express interest in following that trail. Like
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, if you think that this is a solid lead, we will follow you.
Yeah. I guess after that we'll try to find the other people.
So you guys make it back to the guild. I would say Una and Hans and Frans get back there first because you were only shopping for like 5 minutes and then you just talked and walked on the way back. And you guys are in the temple tomorrow a little bit longer, probably more like 20 to 30 minutes. So you arrive back at the guild hall and so you get back first.
Right.
Where do you guys go?
Well, so Hans and Frans goes to the smith first.
Okay.
Una would probably leave him alone once we get back to the guild.
Okay. Well,
I mean, so Hans and Frans wouldn't just like
Bye,
disappear,
Una.
right?
Yeah.
He would be like,
Una, I need to go talk to the smith. I'm going to try to make a magic weapon. So I don't know how long that could take, but that's where I'm going in case anyone, needs to find me.
Okay. Do you know where the smith is?
Yes, yes. Ben was nice enough to give me permission to use the smithy.
Okay, have fun.
Thank
I'll
you.
probably wander around and be back here for supper.
I mean, you're always welcome to join me in the smithy. I don't mind talking to people while I work.
I guess we do probably need to make a couple of arrows.
Sure, arrowheads are very easy.
Not mine.
But you got like
yes, I would
bodkin,
go. So
you got serrated,
Una has
you
special
got the fish hook,
arrows
crooked
because she's from a
arrows.
water tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably more of like that spiral harpoony style. So the ends
Yeah.
are spiral. Just so that
Oh,
way
do
they
you
can go
need
through water.
rifling?
Yeah, rifling. So they go through water smoother. So
Oh, yeah.
hers are a little special. And
right.
so,
Yours are harpoon arrows, as
Yes.
I would call them.
Yes.
yes.
I don't
Yes.
know what Hans and Frans would call them.
He probably
call
has
them fishing
You've
arrows.
probably
Yes.
never seen them before, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you've
I
never
guess that's
seen
the way.
arrowheads like this before.
Sure.
I guess I could show you one and see if you can make them out of metal.
I mean, he can try.
So you guys both make your way back to the guild hall, and you go to the smith, who you remember the guildmaster said his name was Juan, and
Oh, that's right.
you go back there.
Wyatt.
Have I met one before? Probably not. Well, maybe.
No, well, I
Juan
guess
Juan.
what reason would Una have to go to the forge?
Maybe to help get tools for her arrows, like flint and like sharpening.
You probably met him before. You go there, and this is a really tanned, man in his 50s. His hair is graying and kind of bulbing on top. He's very, very, got very strong arms. He is also jacked from working over all the years.
He's got some strong arms.
He has, he has brown eyes, and when you go in there, he's working on something, and he kind of, notices you come in, and he, puts down his, anvil, and he's like, can I help you? Oh, hello, Una. You need more arrowheads.
Well, yeah, Steph probably make some, and he was wondering if he could use your forge.
Hello, we're Hans and Frans, and Ben said that I could use the forge if I'm not imposing.
Does he have more than one anvil, more than one?
Yeah, he
bellows?
does. There's 3 in here.
If you wouldn't mind, I would just like to use one of your bellows, one of your forges, an anvil, to, work if that doesn't bother you too much.
It shouldn't, as long as you keep up after your stuff and put things back how they should go. I don't have a problem with it.
Oh yes, I've been working the smithy for 15 years. I completely understand organization and cleaning up after oneself.
Oh. Yes, please go ahead.
And of course, if there's any project that you need help with, I would be happy to assist. I'm quite experienced.
Could I have shown one what the arrowheads look like? So
yeah,
he can make
he's
it for me?
he's probably made them for you before.
Okay. Then, yeah, I'd
Una,
probably
do you
buy a
need
couple.
more of those made?
Yeah, if you don't mind. I could always use a couple. I lost a few in the last journey I did, so I could probably use like 20, 30.
Alright, I'll give you the discounted rate. Hey, old travelers, and well met. Thank you for listening to our podcast. This is a totally new experience for all of us, and we're glad that you're here with us. Our story lives in many places, but all of them lead back to Patreon. Full episodes of our podcast are released every 2 weeks on our Patreon for subscribers only, and half episodes of our sessions are available weekly on YouTube and wherever you find podcasts starting the following week. So, if you hate waiting, subscribe to us on Patreon for early access. If you like the show, consider sharing it on Twitter using hashtag #TheWesterverse. You can also follow us all over other social media accounts named The Westerverse for updates and other RPG-related content. That about wraps it up for our shameless plugs. Now, onward, adventurers! So you guys are there for about. You guys are in the forge. You guys get back. It's probably about 2:30, almost 3 in the afternoon. So, it's kind of, there's people having meetings and stuff in here, but otherwise it's fairly calm. You don't see the guildmaster and Ben around at all.
Well, do you have any plans of what you want to do?
Uh,
I assume your brother is probably around here somewhere.
Yes, I will find my brother, but I would also like to find how long did you say until the huntmaster guy's here, the ranger dude?
The guildmaster said he should be popping in a day or two when you talked to him yesterday, so
And I would like to find this hunter. It was like he did furs or something.
No, he's not really the hunter himself. It's more of he is the representative. Like he's kind of the specific one who's like the union leader of all the furriers and trappers and hunters that sell merchandise
I want
to
to
the
talk
guild.
to a hunter.
But he organizes all of them.
Okay.
He's the one he goes every few weeks and is going out into the mountains and stuff where they are to check in with them and see what they have for report. So he is the one you'd want to talk to.
So yeah, I'd look for him. What?
Who do you go ask? Like, servant? Just anybody?
If I don't see Ben or anybody else of note that we've dealt with, then yeah, just a servant.
One of the servants says, I haven't seen him in today. I know the guildmaster is still. He's having a meeting with Lavinia right now, and Ben and Bass about enchantments they could put in the cellar. You could ask Ponder, see if he knows if he stopped in or not.
And where's Ponder?
He should be in his office. I'll show you. Okay. You guys went there to sign your paperwork, but yeah. He kind of leads you around from the dining room to back over to this. When you come into the guild hall, it's to the right of it. Yeah. So you go to Ponder's little cramped office in the back, and he's like, "Oh, hello again. What can I do for you?"
I was wondering if you've seen what's his name?
Tristan. Yes, Tristan. I haven't seen him today. Let me look in. Let me go check and see if we've had any messages from him. And he opens up this drawer, and he kind of feels around in it, and he's like, "Oh, there's a letter." He pulls it open, and he's like, "Oh, it is from Tristan. He said he was supposed to be back today, but business in the mountains has delayed him a little bit. it, and he'll be back within the next week.
Who are some of the hunters around here?
You could go to one of the taverns nearby. There's Huntress is a nearby tavern. A lot of furriers and trappers like to go there.
It's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
I didn't name it. Oh, thank you for the gold, by the way. I was able to buy my mother a lovely purse.
You're very welcome, Bonda. Thank you for your time. I'll reach out to shake his hand.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot.
He's deflecting. Get him.
No. He shakes and then he remembers. You are owed. I have payment for you, and he like goes and like rifles through like the drawers and like pulls out some.
I don't know what he's rolling.
Yeah,
it's
what
the
are
golf
you
ball.
doing?
It's a golf ball.
Oh.
He opens up one of his drawers and he has. It looks like a couple bags in there, and he says, "Oh yes, this should be split 4 ways. This should be your share, and then would you let the rest of your companions who did the watch job last night know that I have their payment for the."
I can just give it to him, but if you don't want me to, I can send them in. I mean, one is my brother.
I know it.
Bureaucracy, I understand, my friend.
Well, we've had. I hate to say, we've had instances with employees in the past not handing off money that they were supposed to hand off, so we just
That is
prefer to-
terrible.
Yes, they don't.
Which one?
They don't work here anymore. We handed them over to the officials, and they serve their time in
Good.
jail.
I'll take. How much did you say it was?
It was 800 gold split 4 ways,
Oh,
so
200 gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Megan, you were here for us. I'll give you another job. You can get paid.
Una got recognition because she saved the little girl's doll from her jerk of a brother. So it's good. She doesn't need gold.
I will go out and I don't know. Did you guys do anything?
We would have just stayed in like the open area.
Yeah, the
and
dining area.
The dining area, and Nora was nose in the book again.
All right, I'll find you two and let you know that Ponder has your pay.
Perfect. We'll go ahead and go pick it up, and then go back to what we were doing.
Ponder will give you your pay.
No. Knowing my
assume.
brother, I will go check the. I'll go. Yeah, you probably go check the forge first.
Yeah. All right, you go to the forge and you see.
Oh, wait, Una, are you somewhere around?
I'm with him.
Oh, you're in
I'm
the
making
forge.
Well, he's doing the forge thing.
She's like
I'm
standing
working
over his
it.
shoulder, like, "What you doing? What you doing?" No, I'm kidding.
Sweating her
sitting
ass
there.
off in there.
Making arrows, probably, because she got the arrowheads, or she's waiting for them. So
Okay.
making some arrows.
Yeah, you go find them in the forge pretty easily, and there's another gentleman in there working as well.
I'll just stand back if he's actively working. No.
Oh, well, I'd probably, in between waiting for the metal to heat up, because he would make the arrowheads first.
Oh, you're making them for me?
Well, are you having Juan?
I was having him.
Okay.
Juan's making them for me.
Well, still, he'd have to wait for the
Metal.
iron to heat up.
Well, you probably run the bellows then.
Yeah, he'd just be...
So I'd go over and just kind of like put my arm on your shoulder and take over on the bellows.
Thank you, brother.
Anytime, brother.
How is the temple?
Once Hans
Eye-opening.
Frans Andrew version is there, Una's gonna peace out.
Okay.
Well, where are you going?
I'm done for now.
Okay. We'll see you later.
I'm done for now.
Are we with them? Or
You guys are in the dining.
We're in the
Okay.
dining area, just hanging out.
Okay.
You're probably whittling.
Definitely.
Yep.
I probably got a good.
So I guess
good
before
hole
this
going.
conversation starts, Una, where do you go?
She wants to go speak with the Arcanist.
Lavinia's the
Lavinia.
one oh yeah, you don't know. Okay.
Funnily
She's
enough,
the one I know.
that is
Yes.
a character in Magic the Gathering.
Lavinia?
Yep.
Okay, well, for you to, we'll continue with your conversation.
Okay.
So go ahead. And scene.
Yep.
So, brother, how's the temple?
Strange.
What lies did they try to give to Nora?
It's not lies, brother. It's not our truth. Our truth is different. The Raven said so.
So what did they say to Nora?
Take this shiny little ribbon ball and play with it. And she did. It was crazy.
She literally
turned into a cat and everything.
A cat Nora would be so cute.
She can turn
She's
into a
cute
cat.
anyway.
I mean, technically, a cat is like an 8 CR or a 0
yeah,
CR. You could
super
turn into a
easy.
cat.
Oh yeah.
They just. She was asking what the Fey realm. Apparently, her village is in the Fey realm. Whoever that is.
What?
Yeah, that's what I said. But I didn't say anything because I knew I wasn't supposed to know anything. So this is between you and me, brother.
I met someone from the Fey realm today.
And Juan, like, just standing over there, like, chink, chink, because he's
It's
working on the
loud
sword.
there with
I
the
know.
bells and stuff going.
Right.
Oh yeah. Because the fire gets really loud when
Yeah.
you pump air through it.
I met someone from the Fey realm today. I bought this pearl for the prayer of knowledge, and there was
You've been looking for one of those for like months.
yeah, and this
But for some reason they're not in rivers here, and I don't know why.
So you know what's hilarious? The village that you guys met the Raven in is literally on the coast. So you could have bought a pearl there if you had
Look.
100 gold. But...
Look, I didn't have 100 gold. You just paid me.
That's right, I paid you. Be grateful.
I'm getting going on my material components, okay?
I know. I
Anyway.
just thought it was funny.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Shoot on your bag. There.
Magical dice bag.
yeah, there was this creature, this person. Sorry, this person.
Look at Juan as I say this creature and say sorry.
This one?
No.
Oh.
But I just, like, people around, right?
Let me see
He's
if
like-
Juan notices. He does not notice.
Okay. This person, they were different from you, me, even Rowan. They were different from all of us. They were called a goblin, and I asked them what they were, and they told me, of course. And I asked where they were from, and they said they're from the Fey realm. Like this, so goblins. This person, their parents were from the Fey realm, and they came to this place.
I wonder if they came for the same reason that Nora and Rowan came. Apparently they're here to help save the village. Something about the forest dying off. With the spirits being angry, maybe.
I mean,
Brother,
if their village is in trouble, why didn't they tell us?
they don't know us that well yet, brother.
They went to the temple and told those people?
She was trying to see if she could talk to the spirits. But they're like dead spirits, not like Fey spirits.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm sure one of ours could talk to the spirits.
But this is closer, brother.
How is it closer? They're gods. They're totems. They are
Oh, I think
spirits.
with our village.
No! I mean, probably. I mean, Mom could probably talk to them very easily.
But brother, where I'm going with this is whether their forest is dying off. Because I killed the elk.
No.
The elk is sovereignty over nature.
Yeah, but if they're from the Fey realm, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Where do the goddesses live when they're not here?
Oh.
Fuck, right?
That soundbite is going in the trailer.
Fuck, right?
Oh my god, my head hurts.
You know, that's a good question. Where do they live when they're not among us? When they're not talking to us?
Well, no, brother.
They have a
I mean-
timeshare in Florida.
Narrate why? I would imagine. I mean, when we pray, can our prayers reach them if there's another world?
The goddesses, yeah, brother. So above table.
Yes.
In the depictions that we have of the Bendaya, are they elven in nature, or
Or do they look more human?
and in
look
fact
like-
he met one.
The one you
I
met.
dreamed of one
You met one.
twice.
Cool.
Let me see. It's a little hard to say because the Bendayas form of like art is much more in engraving of things, and that doesn't have as much detail, but none of the features that you saw on like artist renditions of the Vendaya had like pointed ears or anything. And Hans and Frans, Josh's character, or Josh, when you met Angeed in your dream, she did not appear to have elven features. Like she didn't have like the sharp features. She didn't have like the pointed ears. And she looks like just like a human, but
shaped just right.
I mean, but I would imagine she had more of like a divine glow.
Yes, there was an ethereal quality to her where it was like a glow. Like for instance, her hair didn't look quite natural. Like it
was too perfect.
It almost looked like a flame. Like when she it actually looked like a living fire kind of.
So it's like plasma.
Calm your boner. Because like her hair was like her hair was like a specific kind of like a more coppery, orangey gold, where it looks like a flame, like embers and stuff when it's brighter and smoldering and it shifted a little bit in the light and had.
Look, stop! His erection can only get so high.
Right? Sorry, brother. I'll cover that for you.
Let me put this arrowhead or whatever I'm working on in front of me for a minute.
Arrowhead?
I was going to say, you think that's going to cover it?
That's not big enough. Let me put this glowing red
poker
iron in front of. Anyway, yeah. Well, okay.
So, brother, I'm worried. I don't want to be the cause for other people suffering.
We're not. Look, you have the blessing of the serpent.
Yes, but the elk is still gone.
Yeah, we haven't completed the quest yet. Of course the elk is still gone.
I know. So maybe we need to get on this.
We are on this. We know that they're up in the mountains. We know the mountains. Into the mountains. We know that we can find them, but the raven said, the raven said
she's not your goddess, it's fine.
That they are hiding. They know something is wrong. There's something wrong and we need to find them.
But maybe they're connected.
I mean, maybe this hall is connected. Maybe the gods from the south are doing this. Maybe Moria and Elios and all. Maybe they are.
Hold on. Is Moria from the south? Or is she from this area?
She's part of the Southern Pantheon.
Okay.
Boom, got it.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Nailed it.
Anyway.
Maybe Moria and Elios and even All himself. Maybe they are part of this problem.
Well, for sure All is, because everybody talks about him, but nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, he's the great deceiver.
It's part of our mission, brother.
It is not because of the elk. It is not because of your shame that this is happening. We do not know, therefore, we cannot assume. Crap, I just argued against myself. It's not Moria's fault, it's not Elios' fault, but it is. They have subjugated our goddesses. They are the problem.
I don't think that's necessarily the case, brother.
Hans Frans, are you going against a war against gods? Is that what I'm hearing
yes.
right now?
No.
What about until we declare holy war?
Who said that?
Get away!
The white pigeon.
You're not supposed to be in the forge. I throw a coal at it.
It just flies out.
But brother, according to what the Raven said, the gods aren't necessarily the problem. She was fine working with Moria. I understand
the Raven may be, but that doesn't mean that Moru is. Or that
we
Florian
need to talk to them. We can't start a holy war, brother. Our people don't. Yeah. Well, as I'm like pumping and he's hammering and doing whatever.
No, I'm waiting for the
Well, it's got to be hot by now.
He said pumping and hammering. It still sounds incredibly sexual.
Me. I was like, what?
There's no. Okay, so in my head, I'm reading this is
And
like
maybe
as
if you step
homoerotic as
around,
the
there'd be some
volleyball
popping.
game in Top Gun.
Yeah, we both got our shirts off.
Yeah, you're
A little
sweating.
short. We got our loincloths.
Yeah.
Muscle.
We're just like we got
Oh,
oiled up.
yeah. Oh, brother, you missed the spot.
No, it's just sweat.
I mean, you gotta start with oil.
So
Otherwise,
it always
sweat-
looks like
Keeps
you're
the
sweating.
sweat from. It keeps the sweat running.
Yeah, you have to oil across your forehead so the sweat diverges and doesn't get in your eyes.
Yep. Is that how it works?
Exactly.
But brother, our people don't need a holy war. The gods did not put us on that path.
We don't need one yet.
We
But
don't.
If the other gods continue to subjugate ours, if they refuse to restore them to godhood and continue,
They
to call
cannot
them
take away their
saints,
godhood
then why do they call them saints?
because
Everyone
they are
sees them as
ill-informed,
saints.
brother. Is Angid any less a god because they said she's a saint?
No,
Then it doesn't matter. Moru is the god in my heart. I will never see her as anything but. No matter what these Southerners say, our people know. And until Moru and the other Bendaya tell me otherwise, I will respect that.
fine, brother.
Doesn't mean that we can't try to convince these idiots that they're saints are truly goddesses.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is they see them as saints.
That's their problem. We can try and assuage them of their ignorance. But going to war over it right now is not the course of action we
I'm
need to
not
take.
saying we go to war. I mean, how can you even fight a god? I suppose if we could go to another world, if we could go where no man has gone before.
I'm sorry.
It is possible
No, we-
to harm a god.
Yeah,
I am proof of that.
but you harm them here. What?
Sometimes they are here.
But what would be the difference if we went there? If we went to where they live? If we went to where they rested? What could we do?
What are you suggesting, brother?
I'm just saying, I'm just thinking. No, I'm not saying to go to war. But there's a certain lack of respect. There's a certain lack of respect for our goddesses.
Yes, but this is how these people were raised, brother. We can try and rid them of this ignorance, but we can't be overly hateful in it.
Are you saying that we should go and perform the birds and the bees for them?
Yes, brother. This is exactly what I'm saying. We were at the temple district today, and they were hawking all sorts of shitty wares. Your wares, brother. We blow them out of the water.
Okay, so here's what we do. In the next couple of days, like we said before, we go to the shades and we do the birds and the bees.
Yes.
We bring them all. We make a big gathering, make a big show. Maybe we do it 2 days in a row.
No. Maybe twice in one day, not 2 days in a row.
But
We have to move on to the next city then.
Sell tickets.
we have to leave. Bayan is huge. Maybe
Go
we
to
move on
different
to the next
districts.
district.
Yeah.
But I mean, the shades. That is where the venerables are. We need to undercut the venerables as much as possible.
Yes.
The birds and the bees is a start. We need to put good effort into this. 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. Una knows something. She followed one of them the other day. She followed one of the agents into a bar, the Hogshead. She knows where they hide.
They hide in the Hogshead?
Yes, there's a bar called the Hogshead. She knows that one of them is there.
Did I say the Hogshead?
No,
Yes.
it's the boar's head.
Did I say Hogshead?
No.
The let me see what I wrote. Boar's head. I wrote down boar's head. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I
You're
wrote
thinking
down
of Harry
boar's head.
Potter, but I was like, I'm not gonna
That
interrupt.
That's
sounds like
Hogsmeade.
no. There's the Hog's head.
There's the Hog's
It's
head.
Yeah, that's
Aberforth.
right.
It's
Yeah,
Aberforth's
it's
part.
Aberforth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Diamond boar's head.
Okay, I was very
Hudson's so much
confused.
better.
But I feel like somebody already used it somewhere anyway.
She followed them into the boar's head, and she said it was too small. It seemed too small. It's like the architecture.
You know, it
the
just wasn't
building
big
was just
and long
off.
enough.
It was hundreds of feet across
Literally?
on the outside, but only like 20 or 30 feet on the inside.
It's like the opposite of that dining room here the other night.
Yeah,
It could only be 20 or 30 feet inside, but it was hundreds of feet.
it's crazy. Anyway,
Well, brother, we should go talk to. Once we are done here, let's go find Nara, Rowan, and Una. Is Una okay?
yeah, no, she's fine. I mean, so Juan is working on these special arrows for her. She says she can shoot them through water. Like,
Seems really weird that she was waiting for him and then knocked him and she left.
I mean, you know, it's not like she's crushing on you or anything.
That's not what I said.
Oh, right.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Right. So we'll finish.
Yeah, so like the sword that Hans Frans is working on will actually take a couple of days.
Mhm,
He'll
mhm.
work on it, throughout. Probably in between just working the bellows, he'll consult the book concerning how to enchant it, and then of course,
And
while he's hammering out, while he's flattening the iron, he will kind of follow the instructions, saying using kind of the blessing of the forge as a prayer.
Yeah. Yeah, the book you purchased has ways to enchant weapons with arcane and divine in it.
Right.
So even though like the examples they give are all of the southern god Tactius, you're able to kind of just substitute in like your own goddess and get results.
Yeah. Who is this Tatius?
That's the god of the southern pantheon. You kind of think it's almost the same as what Angeed's stuff is, except for its craftsmanship, forge, and blacksmithery. Like, so
Oh.
tradesmen more so.
So god of the craftsman.
Craftsman, forge, blacksmith.
Yep.
So you wanted to go talk to Lavinia.
I just want to talk to her about Hans and Frans, Josh, about the spell, the identify spell, and maybe see if she's heard of something like that before. Basically, we can just
He called it a
also-
prayer of knowledge.
Yeah.
So
For the record.
you missed it, but like, because it was said when they got back in passing, but Lavinia's in a meeting right now with the guildmaster and Ben and Bass about security stuff because they want to do some enchantment stuff.
Billy,
So-
Bobby, Ben, and Bass.
So like you go to her office and
Especially
you
that
can
day.
hear them talking about things and you kind of catch like it's muffled a bit and stuff, but you can kind of hear them discussing like you think they're probably talking about like what kind of spells and the time frame to get it created. So she's in a meeting right now.
Yeah, then
so
I wouldn't go in. I'd go back down then, trying to find Nora and
all right, they're in the dining hall
Rowan.
area reading.
Down something.
Well, what are you guys doing in the dining hall?
I am still reading.
Okay.
Rereading basically everything I already read.
Whittling. 100%.
Can't do that in public.
Not fiddling. Whittling.
Twiggling.
Twiddling with twiglets.
Get twiggy with it.
No, I feel like at this point, what?
You've probably made good progress.
Yeah, like I feel like I've got the sigil inlaid
It's
into
the
a
decorative
block.
part now.
It's the decorative part. I want to design it so that like I can remove it.
Okay.
So I kind of want to make I want to carve like an interlocking like twist
Oh, there you go.
system, so I can literally just twist it and take it off.
Kind of like putting your fire alarm on your wall as you
Right.
take it in and twist.
Give me a. Let me look at what kind of skill this would be.
Would it be
Working?
like?
Well, it would be a tool proficiency.
Yeah, it's a tool proficiency. But
Right.
I'm trying to think of like what you.
So is it just a straight D20 with advantage, or?
Well,
No,
no,
it
there's
would
something
be
called
proficiency,
tool proficiency.
so
That's what I meant. Yeah.
What's
So
your
woodworking,
Woodworking
probably
is
dexterity
dex, yeah.
maybe, and proficiency.
What's your dex?
+1.
Okay, so yeah, then add your proficiency bonus to that, and then give me a roll.
So 20 + 3. It's natural 20.
So like normally this would have taken
So
you
23?
like a couple days to do with the intricacy of what you wanted, but you're just like in the zone today, and you're like practically done with it.
Well, Rowan, that's beautiful.
Thank you. I've tried very
It's
hard.
just like a tumor. It's too much.
I'm proud of you. Dad would be too.
I feel like Papa has taught me a great number of things, but there are so many things in this world that we do not know, and Papa does not know. And maybe one day we can teach our village everything that we've learned,
Maybe.
so that they can know some things too.
I miss Papa.
Yes, I miss
Mama.
Papa too, and Mama.
It's during this time Una comes out into the dining hall, and you guys see her.
Oh, hi, Una.
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Just reading. How are you? How's the market?
It was fine.
Fine.
Yeah. Hans and Frans are just a little weird, that's all.
Well,
Or is it?
we all
Is
knew
he
that
Frans
part.
or is he Hans?
I think
They are
together-
Hans and Frans.
But that's when they're together, so what are they when they're apart?
They are Hans
Hans
and
and
Frans.
You guys,
You trained as well.
just a full-blown heart symbol. Oh,
I'm so proud.
faithful and true. Mwah.
You broke Megan.
It's been a long day.
Is that Una or you?
Both.
Yep. She went shopping with Hans and Frans.
It was good, and I didn't realize that he's never seen like goblins before, fey creatures, and his opinion was very interesting.
Interesting
Would we
how.
have seen goblins before?
He
Yeah.
seemed
There's
to
actually a
think
couple
that
that
all
live in
fey
your
were
village.
bad, or were a form of bad, until he came here, I guess.
Oh. Well, that's
I mean,
interesting.
yes.
Just
You
said the
racist
fairies
motherfucker,
are-
you.
I just said the fairies are bad.
Tricksters.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he met them, he didn't think that they were bad, right?
I didn't chop off her head.
I mean, he seemed very. So he met a goblin today. That's who the jeweler was, and she was super nice and very cute. And he just seemed very afraid of her at first. So that it was just very interesting to see him kind of react that way. And then he got a little more comfortable once we started talking, and he got what he wanted. But it was just interesting.
All of the goblins I've really ever met are really nice. So.
For the record, Hans and Frans was not afraid.
You said you got a little standoffish at first.
That's
and
not the same as fear.
you looked
Wariness.
Yeah, you were
Yes.
wary.
I was
Wary.
wary. It's different.
It's okay. Una's gonna say you were afraid.
That's fine. I'm just saying, for the record.
You were afraid. Okay. No, then we had
Holy war!
I don't have a god. Sorry.
I'm in against the goblins and all of fate kind.
Whoa! Whoa!
He went there.
You did go there.
Racist.
Rowan's perspective is, we are all people, in air quotes.
And tree people.
Even though he's not a people.
People.
He's a person, people.
He's about as much of a person as a cat is a person.
I mean,
No.
cats
Really
can't
step up.
talk.
Okay, a talking
You
cat.
have a
then.
soul. You have a soul.
Yeah.
Probably.
Does he?
Maybe.
You saying cats don't have souls?
Yes.
Okay.
They are demon creatures.
It's true.
Wow.
He's alive. So he's alive, so I
Well-
assume Rowan has a soul.
Well, so actually, this is an interesting concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for
He's
my
so bad.
for my Warforged
Yeah.
that I play, he has a soul, but it's not his.
Oh.
And that's because of his creation. Of
Oh,
how
I
he
didn't
was made.
know that's what it was with Delta.
No, yeah, he
Okay.
doesn't have his own soul, but he has a soul.
Okay.
But it's not his.
Well, it's his now.
He possesses it, but does that make it his?
Someone
He
else
claimed it, but
someone
is it
else's
rightfully his?
soul was given to him.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I
That's why
think-
he's alive.
I would think because Rowan
Um,
is alive and talking and stuff, like how Groot has a soul, I would assume
Yeah.
that Rowan
Yeah.
does. Because he's to me he's like basically like a dryad. Like he's a creature that lives and breathes and he
Right.
feels things. He's sentient. Yeah, he's got a soul.
Okay.
I mean, if anything, it reminds me of like the soulbound class, where like instead of a suit of armor, it's a suit of wood.
Are you
Yeah.
saying
Or,
he's
like,
what the hell?
He could
What's
be
the
like
brother's name? Alphonse. He's Alphonse.
He's Alphonse.
dryad, right? Because that is a woodland spirit,
Right.
right? Just like if, and this is more like just metagamey
Yeah.
mechanic or
Discussion-y.
fluff knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Of like you say, Papa created you or Papa built you, created you, right? If there was a dryad that he
That's the
found, he could have fashioned a body of wood to put them in, or something along those lines. Like he
Yeah.
chopped down a tree,
Yep.
but the tree was still alive,
Right.
and there was some but
Yeah.
you could, because you're an arbor forge, not a war forge.
Right.
It's like the lore of the war forge is they were built to wage war,
Right.
out of metal.
I was built to protect Nora.
Right. So you have a different origin than the Warforged. So an Arbor Forged you could be a Dryad
Yeah.
spirit that was bound to this, this body,
Right.
rather than being part of the forest or part of a tree
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
He could be Randolph the Tan, the great,
Oh,
great
boy.
tree spirit.
Shout out to Dan.
Our friend who plays.
But yeah,
He could be Gandalf.
It's kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah.
There's
For
history
that.
there.
You could
Yeah.
be a unicorn spirit.
Hell yeah! Can I?
Flies him.
My next project is going to be a unicorn horn.
Decorate it with flowers.
Cannon
from
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Hans and Frans could probably do something about that.
Ooh.
Anyway,
We
so
have
you guys were
connections.
saying about the Fae and racism. You were saying, Una was saying she didn't quite know what to make of their reactions and stuff. So continue RPing.
So,
That's it. Yeah.
That's all
so did you guys end up buying anything?
He got a pearl, and then he cast a spell, and then I guess he found some chalk in the sewer, which I didn't realize that he found some chalk in the aqueduct. I didn't realize he found something down there, but I guess he found this chalk that gave off some magic, and he used the pearl that he grasped, and he said a couple of words, and he was able to figure out what that chalk did. So that's kind of interesting to watch.
Does that sound like anything that Nora's ever heard of before?
Are you trained in Arcana?
I am.
Make an Arcana check.
Whoa, a druid trained in Arcana. That is out of the ordinary.
What?
19.
You you want to know if
If I have ever known of anything
Mhm.
that is similar to the effect that
a conjuring?
that she is describing of
Gaining
knowledge.
Oh, yes. You know that there are spells that Nora, because she's read some books about this, has a little bit more of an understanding of how magic works. And in the world, there were traditionally a few ways to have magic. One, you were born with it, and usually that is because your sire was a creature that was magical, such as sire could also mean like female, as well.
I'm not sure that the word
No,
sire is
sire is the
female.
male.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You're in your bloodline. You have some magical ancestry, such as like the Fae usually had bloodlines of magic. People who had fiendish or devil pacts in the past had the tiefling bloodline get in there. And there's a couple other various ways of it. There are people who are in tune with nature or the divine and are granted their abilities. Nora, your magic is that kind where you're able to harness nature. You would recognize Una's magic would be that kind. And then there's people who get it by like making a deal with a higher being, and whether that's religious by being a cleric or like a paladin, you basically are, because of some more powerful being, they are lending you part of their divine aspect. And you know that that is also true for other creatures or other people who make pacts with other powerful things like the Archfey or demon lords or whatever, who maybe don't have it in their blood. They weren't born with it. The more recent way that you've heard is being learned in the city specifically is learning magic through just your own ability to learn it and not harnessing the power of something else.
And then based on
so you know
what,
that spell exists.
Based
maybe
on what
born with it, maybe it's
Maybelline. No.
So I know that type of spell happens within so many different things.
Yeah, you know a lot of people can do that. Like
Okay.
there's people in your village who had different ways of harnessing magic that could cast that.
Okay. That's mostly what I was curious about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I've heard of people being able to do that kind of thing. I know there were some elders and things like that could do it in my village. So it always ended up coming in handy every once in a while. So, but that chalk though, that's weird.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't tell us that they found it.
To be fair, we totally didn't hide that. We drew on the wall while you guys were standing there.
I wasn't there.
She was on the other side of the bank.
So yeah, so you two definitely
Yeah.
have seen us.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I like confronted him. I was like, "What'd you find?"
I'm
He's
more
like, "Chalk."
meaning that it was magical. Is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
No, especially since they found it in the water. That was very strange.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering where they got it from, but I just didn't really bother to ask.
Well, and I guess it might have something to do with the conjuring of the creatures you guys faced.
Maybe. Did it seem like it was?
He said it had
Used
something
for
to do
that?
with summoning. So I would assume so, especially since we're following a person who had the thing. It's possible that that's what he did, and he ditched the evidence, hoping that it'd get washed away.
Maybe.
I have never seen a creature like that before.
No, you haven't.
So I would only assume that it was brought here in some way.
Had to have been.
I mean, it's possible. I have a small idea, but I'm not 100% sure on it yet, so...
It may take time to learn.
But it sounds like they might be want to go to the Styx to look, because
The shades.
Yes.
The
Styx.
The new district of
You want to
Fey, and then
stay
just
in
go-
town, Megan.
Yeah, we don't want to go visit
We
the
want to
River
go
of
to
the
the
Dead.
Hicks and the Styx. It's fine. No, we were talking about maybe going to the Shades and seeing if we could find another lead that way. Because didn't Ben say that they thought the Thieves Guild was some of the people that were going to try to get the wine?
I think so. I think that was the main ones that, especially Hans and Frans think so.
I guess I don't know why someone would use those creatures to go in there, especially if they couldn't get through the wall themselves. So that just didn't make any sense to me. Unless they were going to use those creatures to bust through the wall, but that also doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they knew we were there and were hoping that the creatures would take care of the problem in a way so that they could then later break in and steal the items.
That's true.
That could be it.
It's hard to know exactly what would happen, but
I personally don't like magic users using their power like this.
Me either.
it does not seem right.
Well, do you know what if Hans and Frans will be coming back soon?
Last I saw, they're taking their shirts off and working in the forge.
No.
Oh.
I mean, yes.
Well,
Actually, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
then if
It's you guys are like on the borderline.
Well,
of
but
doing
it's,
this.
but it's, I mean, it's the forge. It's hot as fuck in there.
Exactly. That's why you guys were making.
He would probably actually have his shirt off with like a leather apron on to keep from.
Oh
getting-
yeah, I don't want to get those hot sparks.
No,
on
that
my
would be
skin.
awful.
You still will, but this will at least help.
No.
But how will my muscles like ripple and shine?
Well, because the apron's only an apron.
Oh right, yeah.
Your
yeah.
arm and back muscles are still.
Oh yeah,
open,
no,
bro.
totally.
Well,
Did you
I
guys want the
suppose if
airbag?
they're,
Or no?
I'm good. I suppose if they're working in the forge, they'll probably take a little while. So.
Kind of during that time, Ponder does wander out and say he's got money for you too.
We already got it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it!
What? Sorry, not yet, not yet. You don't get to have treasure yet for the party fund.
No, I was gonna call him his nickname.
Do you remember what his nickname is?
Yep, I do.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. We'll do it another
Alright,
time.
alright.
We'll team again. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was so excited for like 5 seconds.
How it's getting kind of later in the evening. It's about like 6 o'clock, and are you guys? You're still in the forge working?
Well, yes. And Hans and Frans have been having a slight discussion here.
Okay, shall we cut back?
So
You've killed one and are trying to.
so to pick up, and we've done kind of ninja notes here
Okay.
to go over this, but we'll, for audio purpose, for posterity,
For posterior?
yeah,
For
yeah,
posterity, yes.
for the butt.
For the.
Brother, the summon happened upriver. The chalk had to flow down from the source of the river.
Brother, he jumped into the river, and that's where you found it.
Yeah. But what if the person who fled wasn't the one with the chalk?
Then why would they throw it in the river?
It's not part of the script.
Okay, so he'll say that and then say, they were probably there to summon and control the creatures. Why else would they be there?
Yeah, but when Nora and I went down the tunnel, there was no chalk on the floor. There was no summoning circle.
Does it leave behind the circle, brother? Or they could have been summoned elsewhere?
If they were summoned elsewhere, they were probably summoned upriver.
Yeah, brother. Because they came down the river to get to it.
Well, okay, so Lizzie, when we followed them, it was
And
downriver. It was
went-
with the
You-
flow.
No, we went again.
There was a tunnel. The tunnel did not have any water in it, and then it opened up into an older part of the aqueduct system
Right.
that did not have water running through it. You went down it more, arcing back towards town, and then you found the fake wall, and then you found the main thing that either went northwest back towards town or northeast back toward town or southwest towards
So
the
the
river.
cross section that
Of the first river, the Dock Road River, which is the big one outside the Merchants
Right.
Guild.
so through the fake wall,
Yes.
we find this 30-foot wide underground river,
Yes.
And
and
we went
It's by the aqueduct.
upriver to
Yes.
find this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh,
You went upriver
Yeah.
a little bit, and
Dang it.
20 feet upriver is where you found the chalk.
Dang it! Okay,
Um,
I thought I was onto something. I thought we went downriver this whole time.
Josh, you guys never asked if there was anything on. You didn't make any perception checks when you went down the tunnel. You just walked.
Yeah.
You didn't say you were making checks.
There could have been chalk
Ooh,
this
that
whole
was-
time.
Look,
Well, we had a group of people with us and
look,
nobody
I had
noticed.
light.
Ooh,
I
that
had
was
a passive of
following.
14. If there was graffiti, I would have seen it.
And she was tracking
I-
on the
You're
ground.
tracking footprints.
And,
Yeah.
chalk circle?
Yeah.
That's nothing, don't worry
Look,
about it.
oh yeah, look at these imprints
Okay.
in the dirt.
Brother, let's go down there and look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Alright, we'll go and grab these guys and be like, guys, we need to go back down to the tunnels.
Why?
Because the chalk.
Because
This
whoever
was
was
used
looking at
to
the
summon-
ground didn't see a chalk circle. We need to find the chalk circle.
This was used to summon those creatures.
First
the
of
ones
all-
that
first of
shot
all-
water at you, that shot mud at you and me.
Just a quick DM narration bit. These two come into the dining room,
just glistening.
Sweating.
They smell
Just-
like
Maybe it's
awful.
oil.
Whoa!
No.
You're sweaty.
Yeah, we have
But it's
sweet.
a clean sweat.
You
It's not like
still smell
it's
like
and the
sweat.
smell of the forge.
The
We
smell
got
of
we got
diesel.
some.
Yeah,
Smoke.
and
Fire.
It smells like smoke
it's-
and work metal.
Oh
Hans and,
boy.
okay, Hans and Frans think you smell like that. You guys think whatever two people who've been in the forge for 2 hours working are gonna smell like.
Yeah.
In my head, that would not smell pleasant, but that is just a.
Well, it's because you don't like a working man.
Well, look here. We in this day and age, we don't have processed food. We probably eat more vegetables, so we don't have that like
Nasty, funky,
yeah,
eating McDonald's sweat smell.
right. We don't got that,
Plus, we don't have deodorant, so everybody's gonna smell all the time.
yeah.
Unless we do have
There's
deodorant.
this
So
natural
there's the
musk.
desensitization.
Okay, there is
all
a
that.
natural musk.
Exactly.
Whatever your character thinks that smells like,
And
it's
it's
up
smoky.
Mine's
Like
more
a mesquite.
smoldery.
Yeah. Texas.
Mine's more like a Kentucky barbecue.
You guys are making Nora blush a little bit.
But yeah, so we come out, glistening sweat.
Are you
He's-
at least wearing
he's
pants?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus! You don't sit there with your pants on. You don't.
That's how you burn your dick off.
Yeah. Jesus.
A stray ember flies from the forge.
Yeah.
I thought you were in like shorts and
Critical
stuff.
hit. No.
Yeah, you guys.
I don't know what you worked in,
loincloth.
like loincloths or.
No. You have a leather apron on
I don't
so that the
Are you
embers do
bullshit?
not burn you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And once you leave the forge, you hang the apron up.
I was gonna say I'm sorry. They're dressed like leather
And
daddies.
you,
but
and you
they
put
have-
the kilt. I put the kilt
Okay,
back
Oh,
on.
I
sorry.
haven't got my pants on. Jeez Louise.
Good lord.
I thought you guys changed into like your
Loincloths,
like shorts or
that's
some
what I
loincloths or whatever.
No, I mean, you don't want to burn the kilt, so you hang the kilt up, have
Sorry.
your loincloth
I
on,
don't-
put the
I
apron
don't know
on.
jack about.
Yeah, so you were wearing a loincloth with an apron. You took the apron off,
And put
and did you put the kilt back
Of
on?
course.
Okay.
Leather
Hey,
daddies.
this isn't our first rodeo. We were
I know, you guys.
I
We
mean, you were
understand
running around
public
naked.
decency.
I mean, you guys were
okay?
running around naked last night in the
No,
bath.
in the
no.
baths.
That's different. Bathing is different.
Yes.
You're in a certain situation.
Yes.
Anyway, these
Exactly.
two come out at
We
least
come
glistening.
out glistening.
We don't put a shirt on.
No.
Because that's
Well, he doesn't
silly.
wear a shirt normally anyway.
Well, that's fine. But, yes, glistening, smoky.
What is this, your dating profile?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Look,
Yeah. Hey, right or left.
Yes.
Oh,
Anyway.
no.
So we come out,
You come out of
And-
the closet.
and I have the explosion that I
Yep.
say to you guys.
Same here.
Okay.
Brother, get your armor. We need to go.
Yeah. Meet us down in the cellar in 10 minutes.
Okay.
We storm out.
Look at. I made a.
That is beautiful, Rowan. And I will look at it in more detail later, but I need to tell my brother. It takes him way too long to put his armor on if he doesn't have help.
Oh, okay.
But it is lovely. I love it.
Thank
That's
you.
great work. Good work, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody else.
See you in a bit.
I help his armor on.
Peace.
Okay. Do you guys join them? Going down to sell?
Yeah.
Nora
Go
just
this truck and
shoves-
go down.
Yeah, Nora just shoves the book back in her bag and just follows with.
So we'll go back to the forge and get his armor,
Okay.
get him armored, and grab the rest of my gear.
Okay.
And go down to the cellars.
Down in the cellar, it looks like they don't really have. Obviously, the wall isn't quite prepared yet. There's some people in there doing measurements of stuff and then tallying stuff down. And then there's also people who are dressed kind of similar to how Bass was dressed earlier, with swords and stuff that kind of look like they're standing watch.
So we come down to
They have the guild badge on.
I'll kind of flag one down and be like, we were the ones who were here last night when this happened. My brother just had an idea we need to go and search the tunnels for something.
Oh, alright. Well, yeah, it's open right now still. They haven't built anything up yet. We're on double time duty watching this place until they get the wall repaired. So yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Go on through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we're like jogging down this thing. We're not.
I guess Una would just be walking, passively looking for chalk.
Yeah.
All right, make perception checks.
We're probably not necessarily looking until we get to.
Since this is just like dirt and stuff like that. I'm not
Right,
gonna
this
look
is
here.
like the rough
I'm gonna wait
tunnel,
until we
like
get-
natural caverns,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until we
21.
get to the.
21.
I'm
To the
still
brim.
looking.
Yeah.
I'm looking even on the crappy down. Oh, I'm not looking.
Are you
at
just?
all.
Is this? And this is in the natural tunnel, right?
9.
9.
Yeah.
And I have dark vision.
Yeah.
too.
I rolled a
Same.
10.
You guys,
Sounds
you
good.
don't find
Oh, yeah.
anything in the natural
Rock for you,
cavern
rock for
of
me.
chalk marks.
Okay.
So
We'll
we
do
get
the workstone.
we run down to the old aqueduct,
Okay.
and we kind of like. I mean,
Which way do you go?
you
'Cause
go left,
remember-
I go right, and just kind of like.
Yeah, go left and right like
Okay.
100
Just,
feet.
like,
Left
you know,
is the way originally that you guys went, and you found the fake wall. So you're going the opposite way this time.
Right.
Yeah.
This is before the big river.
This is before the fake wall. Yeah. Okay.
I'll
This
go.
is-
Who
Who
else
else is
see
going?
weird mud? Because they talked about mud creatures. Is it like there like spots of mud that look weird, like and out of place? Like I don't know, because I guess above table,
Mhm.
listening to last week, I heard that the mud was difficult to get off.
Yeah.
So I was just
That was just the
Curious
innate
Sticky icky.
sticky icky
Yeah.
of the creatures.
Okay.
So
I was just curious if they were by
They
chance
were
like
actually
little
feces
mud
methods.
prints that were left behind that were just of a weird mud texture that didn't seem to belong.
not that you at least know.
Your
It
shit
doesn't seem like the mud that is kind of in this little area is worse than other mud. So
But yeah, so I'm gonna go left. You're gonna go right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go towards the fake wall.
so you're
I'm setting you
you're going
away
left.
from it.
He's going left. You're going right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. What about you guys?
Well, they searched the natural cavern.
Oh,
We already
Because
did.
we
Alright.
ran.
give me perception checks.
We
then, both
ran
of you.
down.
Or investigation, whatever you're more.
Yeah, they went way ahead of us. So like, well, if we're gonna do it
14.
Uh,
Oh, sorry, 12. 12.
Yeah, 14 for me.
Do you have a light source with you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Rock
okay.
for me, rock for him.
Okay.
Like
Your side, you scour. Josh,
Whose
Hans,
side?
and Franz.
Okay.
You scour, and you find yourself back at the wall, and you don't find anything.
okay.
You, because you guys didn't go right this time, like you do find about, let's see, how far is it? About 200
5,000.
about 200 feet going that way. You're kind of going down a ways, and you see more of like some older grates that kind of are from the ceiling, and there's a little bit of water trickling down in it, and there is more of like a little natural pool that is forming here, and you see it looks like there's like dirt that was dumped in here. Like this doesn't seem like there should be dirt here, and you do find chalk marks.
Brother! Nora! Rowan! Luna!
They look
I-
kind of scuffed out though, like somebody like tried to scuff them away.
I run and follow wherever his voice
And
is.
as soon as he yells in the echo, reaches me,
He
I'll
reaches you and says, lover.
boom, just dashing, running, just full gate.
Like the anime style turn on your heel and just a plume of dust behind you.
Oh yeah, just like boo! Oh yeah. And then all you see is like stars flying past me, streaks of light, just
Brother! I'm on my way!
And then we cut to a camera at the other angle that's just you slowly, like Baywatch style.
no.
No, it's like
You three getting to the crossroads and me just.
I'm hearing like the Chariots of Fire song in my head. Dun, 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 dun.
So yeah.
Okay.
Nora's hair physically blows as he flies.
Oh, I smell that musk.
And as I walk by, it's just a
okay.
just a wink.
Yeah, it turns and just gives you a wake up.
Ding, ding. Little tooth flare smile.
No tooth smile. He's
Okay.
just going air in, air out. But he takes the time to like turn and
I do
Wink.
not think that is physically possible.
Well, it's Hans and Frans. I suppose they can kind of do anything. Let's go.
I said a prayer.
I
Say a
did
little
hear that they are
prayer for
basically
you.
gods.
Oh. Oh.
She just runs after them much slower than they were.
Luna's like, I will take my dear sweet time.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
So you guys make it down to where Andrew's character Hans Frans is, and he shows you the grate coming up from above with water trickling through it. It's pretty small grate, like it doesn't look like any of you could fit through it. It's probably only about like 3 feet wide, and then 2 feet, and then there's there's bars. But yeah, there's water sources.
Well, these two should be able to fit through that.
Yeah, I mean, my shoulders are only, what, 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, actually,
As far as that Hans and Frans
probably-
not getting through.
yeah,
no.
probably
We
Una
can't put our
or
arms
Nora
down.
could maybe try to fit through in their current form.
Well, so, if I
Probably
could,
the better
Lizzie,
bet.
so we have a grate above,
Yes.
and when we
It's-
went all the way down to the fake wall, there was a grate on the floor that let water down further, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Like,
it
what's
is
the
a bit of a step up. Like
How high is it?
It's about 10 feet high
Okay.
Then you
up
could
from
Do you want
like.
to try and do a pyramid?
Well,
Una, would you like a lift?
Sure.
so what I would like to try, you said that the chalk, and I'm assuming that you it's right here,
Yeah, the marks.
pointed out, has been kind of scuffed.
Yeah, it looks scuffed.
It
It almost looks like it was burned.
Like the spell
Like the spell,
kind
like
of consumed it?
Oh, sure.
yeah, so they're like ash marks almost at this point, like charcoal marks.
I don't necessarily know if Identify can work this way, but Hans and Frans would take out the pearl, hold it in one hand, and put his fist to his forehead, and put the other hand to the chalk, and say a prayer of. Basically, say the prayer of knowledge. Identify as a he would expend
What are you trying
another.
to identify with it?
He would like to know more about the spell.
Since it's not a magical object.
I mean,
Let me
would-
read
he
the
would-
spell really quickly, and I'll let you know.
Sure. So you choose an object.
Okay.
identify specifically to an object. And if it's a magic item or some magic imbued item, you learn the properties and how to use it. But basically, I'm trying to go off book slightly and use identify in a way of like, what did this circle do? What did this chalk do here?
I think we know.
Well, right, but he wants like definitive answers.
There
And
are
it's-
no definitive answers in life. Love.
Don't be a Jedi.
Be a Jedi.
I would say you wouldn't 100% know how it works, but it would confirm you're like, oh, this matches the essence of the chalk, and I can feel that there's a trace of magic here where something was supposed to be summoned forth from another world to come here.
Okay.
And
Okay.
like follow the orders of whoever called it forth. How long they were supposed to be here, the power of how strong it was, like that's not something you really know or anything.
Or the world that it came from?
No.
Okay.
You also don't know like necessarily how strong somebody was to have to do this, but
Sure.
you know that yes, this is like a former conjuration circle. To
Yeah,
summon something.
so at this point he would have to do it as a ritual. So
Okay.
he would take the 10 minutes to do so.
Okay.
So
While
I
he's
mean,
doing that,
you guys
Rowan and I
yeah,
can
thing.
try and lift.
Are you guys
What up?
cheerleading her? Actually, you probably can do it by yourself because you're like
7 feet tall.
So
And I'm light.
I mean, we're 6'4".
Yeah.
So you get her a little higher, like one leg goes up a little higher, and you're just like on your tiptoes.
So I'm crawling into a grate right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, if you can get it open, I was gonna see if Rowan,
Can I
first I was
get
gonna
the
see if
grate
Rowan and I
open?
could lift Hans and Frans up to try and open it, and then.
But I'm
I
like
could
immediately
easily
down
move.
on my
Yeah.
hands and
He's
knees.
busy.
Could I-
He's T-bowing it.
If I'm 7 feet
How
tall,
dare you?
What
my
is his
wingspan
reach?
is 7 feet. So
Your arms aren't 7 feet.
well, you're
From fingertip
No,
to
from
fingertip.
fingertip
Yeah.
to fingertip
Oh,
is 7
yeah.
feet.
you can
I
lift
could
her up to. You
I
can
could probably reach the grate.
If you
Right.
jump.
So your
Yeah.
arm is probably 2.5
Right.
feet long, 3
Yeah.
feet long.
Right.
So
Is
you're
probably
probably
what it is.
your
So you-
fingertips
Your
are
My
fingertips
fingers
twiglets,
touch.
my
You're not
twiglets are.
It's
Or
not
like
quite enough
10
where you can
feet up.
grab it. Like
Well-
it's a little short.
Are my twiglets touching?
We'll
Your
cheerlead
Just
twiglets
under
are
10
brushing
feet.
it.
We'll
If you
cheerlead
cheer,
it, and I'll try to.
if you picked
9.5.
any one of them up, you could reach them at least to
Okay.
get up there because they can get on the little ledge thing and like kind of be like, all right,
But yeah,
There's a ledge.
like because there's a tiny opening, like they could sit on the lip of where the grate is.
Oh, I get what you're talking about.
It's a
Like a tunnel,
horizontal thing.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was a vertical grate going
Yeah, that's what I
straight
thought
up.
too.
Oh, I knew it was vertical. Or, yeah.
No, it's
I knew it was
horizontal.
horizontal, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was like a ledge up there that she could.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
So you're cheerleading Una up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's pretty small,
It's
so yeah, you can do that.
I was gonna say if you want
Alright.
me to roll those, I have a 16.
No, you're.
Oh.
What's What do you do once you're up there? There's a grate.
I guess I would grab it and try to wiggle it and see if I could get it to move.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
In between the actual grates themselves, like if the grate was out of the way, you could probably like muscle through it. But otherwise, the opening isn't very big. It's
Isn't
probably
grate
only like.
movable, though? Like by shaking the grate, is it been there
Give me
for
a
a long
strength
time?
check.
Oh god. This is gonna be really bad, you guys.
Let me know if you would like some assistance
Can
beyond
you
what
get up
I'm
here?
currently doing.
Yeah.
He could lift me up.
Assisting.
And I could try.
I'm just
Yeah.
picturing him like she can either sit on the lip or he's just holding her. Let me know if you need any more assistance.
Yeah, I'm literally just
That
like
was a drop.
That was dropping
Sit
stuff.
there.
Okay, go ahead. Roll.
not moving.
That would have been natural 20. 15.
Plus.
0.
Okay, 15.
15.
This thing, you kind of feel it give like a little bit, but it's not quite coming loose. Like, and you're like, using all your muscles.
Yeah, Una's
Of
not very
which she
strong,
has none.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say the space between the grates to actually
Does it look
get
like anyone
through.
tampered with it up here?
Give me a perception check.
20.
You're kind of looking around. It doesn't look like it was tampered with, but you're kind of like feeling around on the edges of this little hole area, and you feel like a little rough patch of the stone, like your finger brushes against it, and you hear like a, and the grate moves a little bit, like it came loose.
Oh. I would hit that rough spot and push it.
All right, it just. And you actually kind of like, oh, geez, and catch the grate a little bit in your arms.
Interesting. Do I see any tracks up here on the other side of the grate? Like something was climbing through here?
No, because it's basically stone and then just a little bit of water that is like trailing through here. You're actually getting wet sitting up here because like the water is just flowing into you now. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm
But
sorry.
we're in the sewer.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So-
Was
Oh,
it
he
more
said
of a
his
button
bed.
that released it?
Yeah, he's actually
Yeah,
on
there's
his
like a
bed.
little stone that you pushed in and it was like
Let's
it
see.
basically acted like a button.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
Una would start crawling forward.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a little bit of a tight fit. Like even though you are petite, you still kind of have to like crawl a
And, like,
little bit.
Air ducting it, most likely, kind of tight.
Yeah. You go about 10 feet forward, and then you can see there it opens up a little bit into a wider space.
Okay.
And then there's like
Is there any light? I can see 90 feet in the dark in front of me. Do I see anything as I'm crawling through here?
as you get a little bit to this alcove area, you see like a little opening alcove area, like probably only about 5 feet by 5 feet. And then you kind of like can stand up in it and pull yourself up, and you've reached like it looks like you're part of the main sewers again now, like just up a different
Like
level.
a little shortcut?
Yeah. And you remember when you were walking through the aqueducts, like there's some of them because of where the buildings are and how the parts of the older city are built on. Some of them are like in tier layers where like it's up higher and then it descends again and then it moves this way and then others. So like that's just kind
Helps
of
with water flow too.
Yeah, it helps with water flow.
Is there a grate on the end of this as well? Or no? It doesn't just.
Actually, yeah, there probably would be a grate on top of this one.
I guess I'd like
That
to
looks like it has a little bit of like you're kind of having water poured on you. Yeah.
No. Do I see kind of a stone like the other one up on this end of the grate?
Give me another perception check.
Oh, goodness. Sorry.
Ding.
21.
Yep, you find another one and you break it open.
Okay, well, I won't do it. I just want to know if it's there.
Yeah.
But
What were
like
you looking for?
another rock button.
There's like a rough
To move
part
the
of
grate.
stone that sort of acted like a button,
I would leave it and then try to turn around.
Like a
and then go
mechanism to
back.
open a door.
Okay.
Okay.
but for the grate.
I mean, if I had to hit the button in
Just
order to
release
turn
the
around,
grate.
I would put it back and then go down and then tell
You can go,
everybody
you
what
can
I
go
saw.
back down.
Yeah. And
You
then-
guys see Una just disappear up in here.
I mean, I don't. I'm
Yeah,
playing.
the rest
Yeah.
of you.
I come back and tell you what I found.
What did you find?
I looks like there's like a button that releases a grate so you can crawl through, and it looks like this just connects from one to another. So this may have been the way they came down originally,
Wait, from one to another.
from one aqueduct to another aqueduct
Interesting.
on a different level.
On a different level.
So there's a couple of levels throughout the city because of the way the city was built, and the told me so.
I'm really confused.
So, So as far as what you said, Lizzie, right? So we have an aqueduct that's basically going north-south.
Yeah.
And that's the one that we followed, was
Right,
basically
'cause
one
the
going north-south.
Like, for... yeah.
And this one that Una found is not going north-south. Is kind of it's a different
It kind of
aqueduct.
looked like an overflow grate that was a little bit forgotten about, and then they caved in this tunnel, and it used to go through this old aqueduct that it connected to, where you guys found the summoning thing by going through the fake wall. So it just looks like.
Well, I'm not a civil engineer, so I'm not gonna question this.
The aqueducts leave so many questions for the adventurers, but they're not the only ones in our story. What is Nora's real question, and why is she so interested in death? And will they ever find out if Carl is any good at his job? Find out next time on the Guardians of Fehal.